Okay. So namaste and welcome to everybody. I'm so excited to be with you. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Azrael, and then this is Joni. For those of you that don't know Joni, we've been longtime friends and colleagues, and have been until recently living across the continent, me in Vancouver Island and Joni in Vermont, although she's originally from Montreal. And I'm originally from Detroit. So I've recently moved down to Nashville. And last year, Joni had the inspiration to ask if I wanted to lead a retreat with her in Costa Rica. And so here we are. And I'm so excited to share with you all. I'm so excited to go and to deepen an experience. We thought we'd start. We're going to try and keep it quite timely. We know everyone's busy and yet we want to leave time for a question and answers. But we thought we'd start by sharing just a little bit about ourselves, what we do, how we work. And then we'll go into a sense of what the retreat is and what the container for the retreat is and sort of the flow and the energy that is going to happen there. So I'm Azrael. I'm living in Nashville, Tennessee. I just moved here on September 20th. A big life change for me, a huge life change in many ways. And I am an Ayurvedic practitioner. I'm a Taoist alchemical Qigong practitioner. I'm a spiritual counselor. I teach yoga. There's so many things that I offer. But basically what I do is I support people on their path into becoming. I sort of like help people remember who they are and what lights them up and how they're here to sort of walk through this world and walk on this world. And yeah, it's pretty magical. I love leading circles. I love leading retreats. And I love sharing in classes. I find that when I'm in that space, I'm really a channel for what the group wants, what wants to come through for the group, and what wants to be held in that space for not just our highest growth and evolution, but for our highest joy. Like what can be fun? I'm someone who's very authentic. Be honest, I do swear. I'm not gonna it's not gonna be all just okay, namaste. Like, let's have some fun. Let's laugh. Let's enjoy. And at the same time, let's open to who we are and to what we're really here to do and to be, right? We'll get in the intention of the retreat in a little bit, but I feel after 2020, we're all going through big shifts. We're all going through big changes. We've been opening up for the past year, and it's sort of it's time now to come to a place where we can be held in nature and really allow ourselves to harmonize into the energy of who are we, what are we, and what is it that brings us joy? And in doing that in a way where we don't do, but we allow ourselves to soften and settle and to open to the highest alignment of our soul. So that's a little introduction about me. Joni, if you'd like to introduce yourself, and then we'll go into the retreat.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here this evening. I just want to say that one of the many reasons why I invited Azrael to join in this project is she's just incredibly intuitive. She's the most intuitive person I've ever met. There's something about her presence that's always helped me really, the things that she says is very true. It's really always really helped me tap into my heart and my soul, and really that authentic presence. It's just super powerful, and so it's an honor here. So I do a lot of the similar things, the yoga Ayurveda world. I've been working one-on-one with people with body work and coaching and all that for a long time, and I now actually run a wellness center and a movement studio that we just opened this week. And it's been a few months of really coming back to community, and I've done a few weekend retreats here in the last few months, and it's just really where it's at for me right now is the groups coming together. There's something really potent in that, and there's a ton in one-on-one, of course, but there's this sort of elevated experience that really brings that level of transformation. And then I last winter was kind of still COVID-y, and then our friends were going to this retreat in this crazy place in Costa Rica, and so my partner and I were like, let's just go, and we went. And that's why we're going back, because it was so special. I got chills just thinking about it. I told Azrael I woke up this morning just with images of the place in my head. I'm just so excited. finding a really powerful container for the offerings and the group work we're interested in doing, and also co-creating with you guys, because what will come is what will want to come through. You know, it's not like we're here and we're going to teach ABC. It's like, oh, what's happening, what's in the moment. And that container there, it's really, and I think you probably got a sense if you looked at a website, up a ton of photos, because I was like, you got to really have a feel for what it's like. And their website for the lodge is pretty amazing too. We're in the jungle and on the water, and it's at the end of the road, so it takes a little extra travel, but it is worth it. It's the last coastline that's really undeveloped. We're right next to a massive national park. 5% of the world's biodiversity is in Costa Rica, and then 2 or 2.5 is on that peninsula. There's toucans like waking you up, and macaws eating almonds over your head while you're in your hammock. It's surreal. And so that was really clear for me. I was like, I gotta come back here. And why don't I bring an amazing group of people and create a really amazing container? So I kind of started going into the retreat a little bit
Yeah,
there.
no, good.
For me, it's almost like it's not important who I am and what I do. Like, this is going to be an amazing experience because we're all choosing to go and be together. And to me, there's something really potent in a trip like that, because, like, when you make the decision to go, you're fully committed. You know, it's not just like coming to my Monday class. This is like, whoa, we're gonna do this and we're gonna make the most of it, and create enough space also that doesn't, you know, we're not creating a super tight program, like just that there's ease and you can relax and you can really enjoy. So I'm also the go-to for the questions about the place and how to get there, because I've done it. So we'll answer some of those today, and we can, over time, also as you're making more detailed plans and all that, we'll answer additional questions. And as the group is forming closer to the retreat, we'll do another gathering so we can like meet before we get there and all that. So there'll be extra support as we get closer. But a little nutshell.
It's beautiful, Joni. It's just to feel your excitement, and also, like, again, the radiance that you're bringing and carrying, and that you're sharing, like this importance of the harmony of the group, and then the harmony of nature, right? Because we're not separate from nature. And so when we're in such a natural space, when we're in such a space that is been so held with such respect and such consciousness, and then we're choosing to come together to, you know, whether we're going for nourishment, whether we're going to like open our heart, whether we're going just to relax and just do something different, right? Like, we're all going to each have our own reason. But what's it like to go to a sacred space and then to be in a sacred container where your needs, your truth, your purpose of whatever your intention is for that retreat will be allowed to be really held and met, right? Each of us offering our sort of own tune to this space. As Joni said, like, this is not like a tight retreat. We're not here to do yoga and to get the perfect yoga bodies, right? Like, it's like, no, we're here to like be us and what wants to unfold and what wants to flow. We are offering 2 sacred classes every day. So there'll be one in the morning and there'll be one in the afternoon, but they're going to be a mix of different things. There's going to be some yoga. There's going to be some movement. I'm going to be bringing in some alchemical Taoist Qigong, which is movement and energy work. And so it's really learning how to feel and sense and open to energy and energy flows within our body, working with color, working with sound, working with ancient medicine that we can do ourselves that's really nourishing and also can expand us into higher states of joy and consciousness, you know, open our intuitions. And it's fun. It's not like, you know, some of it's really funny, like you laugh so hard because you're making funny sounds or you're shaking your body in different ways. And that can be woven in with a yoga class. It's also really important for us to create a container where everyone is very safe and held. And so there's going to be time where people are going to just be wanting to be by themselves, and there's space for that in the day. But we're going to be offering also these, like, Joni's going to be bringing in some fun games. I'll be bringing in games where we get to know each other, right? And there's going to be, I think you call them the icebreakers, Joni's, right? Where we like get playful with each other, and we get to like explore, like opening our energy to the group in a way that is fun and sort of dynamic and playful. You know, there'll be separate times throughout. So there'll be the 2 sort of class periods throughout the day, which are optional. So one day you don't want to get up in the morning and go, You don't get up and go. It's fine, right? Meditation is also woven in through these times. There might be times where we have extra sits if people want to come sit, or an extra class that we throw in there. We will start the retreat with a sacred intention, a sacred circle, and we will close it. So it is going to be a held container for whatever is needed. And then when we're out swimming in the ocean, or like hiking in the park, or laying in the hammock, right? Even if we're doing absolutely nothing, we're actually still really working with the radiance and the vibration of the retreat and the healing. And so it's going to be pretty profound.
Oh, I can feel it in my body.
Yeah.
My shoulders just dropped another inch.
I know. And it is important, I think, to us, like, because we don't want to overload it. So it's, again, going with the flow. It's like if people are wanting to connect more, that can be facilitated, or you might just want to hike with someone or do something with someone, but we don't want like a super rigid 4 or 5 things a day schedule. There'll be our meal times, there'll be different things, but we want there to be the flow and flexibility, that it's nice that you're enjoying Costa Rica, you're enjoying the beach, instead of, again, just in rigid practice. And we will take a day off, or I don't know if we'll take the whole day. I think the whole day is what you guys did last time. And there'll be the opportunity to go to a surfing beach, or there'll be an opportunity to go to the national park. And like, that's extra fee to get there for the taxis and stuff. I think it was like $20 for the park. It was really cheap. And like to go on a tour of the park and things. So we will offer time for that too, so that there is, yeah, so there is space to get to feel the area a little bit more as well.
I'm wondering about, before we go into questions, I actually put together a couple more pictures. Are you guys interested in seeing a couple photos? So I put a bunch on the website. So I tried to dig up some that weren't. So some are just from my phone. They're not good quality, but just to give you a little more of a sense. And then of course on both of our websites we added some, and on the Finca Exotica website too. But I thought that might be kind of sweet.
I'm like counting the days.
Here we go. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
So that's you and that's me, and we're talking, we're hanging out. That's just like the little lounge area. That's by the dining area in the afternoon there. That's the planet that macaws really love.
And there is like a juice bar there. There's massages available there. There's lots of hangout and chill spaces.
Yeah, I just love the stars. I know the photos are a little terrible, but it was so amazing.
No.
That's from the yoga platform. In the morning, the sun rises like right there, and it was just always so surreal like that. So on your right is actually the ocean, and then the hill goes up from where we were. The yoga platform. That's all of you right here. Bloop, 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 bloop. That's me. I did a little photo in preparation. So on one side it's jungle, and on the other side it's ocean view. And we're a little higher on the platform too, so we get a nice little breeze. It's a little cooler. There it is. So that's the ocean view. That's all of us. Shout out to John McConnell. I don't know if some of you in Vermont know him. That was his retreat last year. Super amazing teacher in the area here in Burlington. So the retreat center is actually, it was really created by rewilding the land that used to be a pasture land. And so it's a food garden integrated into the forest. So we did this walk that they facilitated for us, where you like got to smell the flowers and the meet some of the plants and the fruits and all that. It was really amazing. And sunset is a little sunset spot that we went to one night. And that's the beach. I wasn't lying. There was nobody there. Sometimes there's a couple neighbors walking by, but it's really pristine. It's super, super special. The sand isn't actually that dark. That's mostly the photo, but so that's that little lounge area again. A bunch of people. I don't know. That's a flower, because my God, everywhere you look, there's just freaking amazing things. Another one. What else have I got? I think that's it. Oh, there we go. I don't know. I got photos of the yoga platform from every side. Most of the cabins and stuff you can see from the website. So I just wanted to show you a little bit. That's the view from one of the ocean view cabins that are a little bit higher up. And that's one of the tents, actually. That's where my partner and I stayed last year. So the tents are amidst the gardens. Chiquihika. That's it. Just a little
So
And I can send any of
amazing.
those to you guys if you want, but just my little geeking out. I'm getting excited here. Did you have anything else, Azrael, before we open it up to questions?
Let me just pause for a second and just take a moment and see. Just, I think, and you've already mentioned it, Joni, just when we come together in a group and we come together in sacred community, when we come together in a place that is held, it's amazing what can happen. And again, it's not by doing, it's more like by undoing that the magic occurs, right? And I think each and every one of us, not just in this group, but in this world right now, we're in the middle of a huge change and in a huge space where our nervous system is ready for a reset, right? Like we're all going through something or have gone through something. And so to be able to take a week away in nature, in a space where there's amazing food, where the land is like rewilded up, and there isn't, we're not like, we don't have the TV, we don't have like the internet. I mean, there is access if you need to, use it, but it's not like part of like, it's just in our face all the time. And it's just, I just think it's so important, right? And the more that we can regulate ourselves, and the more that we can come into deeper connection with nature, with slowing down, with just a different vibration of being than the doing, it's amazing what can birth up. And each of us is like a microcosm for the macrocosm, right? And so I just think it's like the perfect time. And I think any time is the perfect time, but especially now, right? Like it's so potent. And then who wouldn't love a week in Costa Rica, right? Like, I mean, it's amazing. And so I think that's all. I would like to shout out to Jesse. I do think there are a couple other men interested. So you probably wouldn't be the only guy there. You might be. How great. But like also you probably wouldn't be. Yeah, I was gonna say, oh yeah,
There's some
yeah,
people already.
yeah. And so so just letting you know that. And I love people. I love my quiet time. I love my alone time. And I'm really good at giving space. And I also really love connecting with people and making friends from all over the world. So I'm really excited.
And the food's amazing. That goes without saying. They feed us really, really well. It's really fresh. A lot from the land. So just as a reminder, when you ask your question, if you don't want to be seen on the recording, feel free to just write it in the chat box. Ready? Bring it on. Bring it
ready.
on. I want to know what's the burning question at this point.
Well, I can start. I have a question about the flight on the 4th, because all flight seems to be arriving around 9 or 9:10. I cannot remember what I have written at night. And I know you had mentioned in one email that we can take another flight to get to the property, to the resort. But did you mean that we can take that flight later that night, or do we have to stay overnight and then take it in the morning?
Yeah, so like I mentioned earlier, this place is a little bit more remote than your usual resort, and it's totally worth it, but it does take a little more planning. What I did last year, because it was a family trip, we actually arrived a couple days early and we decided to drive. So I haven't done the flight, but I do have some friends that did it. So I got some information from them. So it's definitely an option. It's a pretty long drive. So we took like a few days and we slept in different places. The coastline is amazing. If you want to do something like that, feel free to email me and I'll talk to you a little bit about what we did. What I realized, thanks to Susie and the crew over there, is that Sansa, which is the main company that does that last leg to the Osa Peninsula, they don't fly at night. There's smaller planes, and there's a couple things there. So if you're, because I know you're coming from a little further away from northern Canada, for you, it sounds like coming in the day earlier, spending there in San Jose, flying to the retreat the next day. I can help you figure that out in a little more detail. The last flight appears to be 4 o'clock. And you want, in San Jose, you want 2 hours or more, because you need to clear customs, because this is a domestic flight. So keep that in mind. If you're trying to do the whole trip in the same day, I think on the way out it's easier.
It's impossible. I checked.
No, definitely from where you are. I meant for people that are coming from a little not as far.
No, but even with a sleepover in Vancouver, it's impossible. Whichever way I arrive there, it will be 9 o'clock at night.
Right, right. So
Right,
it
yeah.
would be the next morning is when you would get to the
Yes.
OSA. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that should be pretty easy in that way.
Okay. So is
And
it
I'm
easy?
happy to help you also with staying in San Jose and figure
Yeah. Okay.
because
Okay.
we had to do
So
And
that.
that
and one of the things that Joni and I talked about is, so like, as Julie, if you were unable to come on the Friday and to get there for the Saturday, we did talk about that depending on people's travels plans, we would do a meet and greet or something the Saturday evening, but open the container when everybody arrived, right? Even like if there's like the first, the first yoga class, depending what time you flew out, we would set that sacred intention when the whole crew was there and the whole group was there. So I want to make that clear, because you are not the only person coming from Canada. And from Canada, it's a whole different experience to get to Costa Rica than it is from from Western Canada. It is than coming from Montreal or Nashville or someplace like that. So just letting people know that. And same for the way out. So we can close the container if people have early flights on the Saturday morning. We can close that container on Friday night, like if that closing circle. And that's something, once everyone's got their travel plans, we'll figure out how to do that. So
Um, this is a little bit crazy, but I'm going to put it out there. That company, that charter company, could charter a flight. I have no idea if that could work. If a lot of us need to travel on the same
later.
day, I need to figure out if they would fly later. I don't, probably not 9 at night, unfortunately, but I can ask. I got the phone number from the lodge is super, Finca Exotica is super helpful. So in helping us get there. So I'd be happy to make a couple of phone calls and even just get information, like how many people do we need, and how accommodating might they be. There was talk about that last year to do smaller planes that land at the retreat center on the beach, like right next to the
Yes.
beach. So there's some
Yeah.
options there if you haven't booked that last flight. I'm gonna get some information on who is flying when, and maybe we'll land on the beach. I don't know. Promises.
Yeah. Yeah. And Julie, too, once I get the information of everyone who's coming from Victoria and Vancouver or that area too, I can let you know, because most likely everyone's going to be taking commercial flights. But like if they find a different flight or a different way that, again, from Whitehorse might be different, I'll just let you know. Like I can let you know or put you guys in contact too, because you might all be arriving similar time or something like that, and do room shares or stuff like that. So that's definitely.
Looks like Jesse has a question. Do you? Trying to get him?
Yeah, and I probably should know this, but I don't. So it's travel on Friday, the 3rd, and then the first day of the retreat is on Saturday, the 4th.
Depending on where you're coming
How
from,
does it work?
you might be able to travel all on the 4th. It depends where you're coming from. You're coming from Vermont, so I found some flights that leave early enough in the day, just a Burlington morning flight transfer, and then the Sansa, you'd be able to catch the Sansa flight and arrive on the Saturday. So you could do it all in one day if it lines up.
And get there on Saturday. Okay. And then the last day of the retreat is the 10th?
Is the 11th.
The 11th. Okay.
But again, we can be flexible because
cool.
Yeah. And because it's the 11th, that's like the leaving day. So it's not like, that's not a full day of retreat or anything. Same with the first Saturday. It's not a full day of retreat. It's more arriving and departing. And then we like set the container for the rest, the middle. So,
and you are welcome to arrive a day, 2 days, 3 days early. Finca will give you a discount, even if you want to be at that retreat center or making your way on the Osa Peninsula's beautiful coastline. There's so many sweet little tiny places to stay. It's not like big resorts or anything. Which is what I'm planning to do. So feel free to come a little earlier.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. And I'm not sure my plans. I'm going to come earlier too, but if someone is coming earlier, like I'm not sure if I'm staying around San Jose or if I'll drive down or fly down, but I'd also be open to like exploring some things, right? Like, so that's something if someone wanted to share a rental car, or if there's something like that, like Julie, if that, I know with your work, you might not be able to, but if it's something you wanted to, it's like, let me know. And let's like, look at that. That might be really fun. So I definitely would be very open to doing something like that. So,
okay. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to come the Wednesday or the Tuesday night. I'm not sure, but yeah. Okay. Right.
The company that flies that last leg is called Sansa. I don't know how they pronounce it. SANSA. And if you just type that in, it'll come up. It's very straightforward.
So I
Susie,
did, I
you
did look
found
into,
another. Yes, go ahead.
there is another company that runs, it's called Arrowbell, and I looking online, it's on demand. And so it's like, if 3 of us show up, but they have these options, pooling, block, or full. I can't read my writing, but anyway, it sounds like if you were going to try to connect with other, passengers that might be, around the same time, the price is like $169 to $226, depending, I think, upon how full the plane is or isn't. I think the max might be 8, but the Sansas are all like 126, 126, and it's just 1 o'clock or 4 o'clock to go from San Jose to PJM, whatever that stands for, I can't remember. And then on the way out, though, there's a bunch of options, like
Okay.
6:37, 9, 9:30, 9:40, 12, 2, and even, I don't know what's 17. Can't.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, yeah, 5 o'clock. There's a bunch of options
Canadian
on the
here.
way out. But you mentioned that you saw an early flight out of BTV, Joni?
Yeah, we ended up, because we're flying out earlier, we found a direct flight out of Montreal, so I don't remember exactly the details. I can dig that up for you though.
No, I was wondering about Montreal because can be pretty convenient.
I know. So Air Transat has a direct flight out of Montreal, but they only do certain days. So they don't do Saturday at that time of year or ever. It's like a Tuesday or a Thursday. And we're like right before the busy season. So like the more flights actually while we're there, they're adding more flights. I'm like, just start a little bit earlier for us.
Yeah.
But I'll try, Susie, I'll try to dig up that Burlington one that we had found. And then how about I also call Arabelle and be like, what does this mean? How many people do you need? And send that
that'd be great.
information out.
Yeah. Awesome, Joni. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is the total number of participants in the
I
class?
think we'll probably camp it. We can camp it at 25. I think we're thinking around 15, maybe a few more than 15, but we're not going to do it like super full and fill it up. We're going to have it full, but we don't want it to be like where nobody has space or anything like that. So I would say 15 to 20, but like, I don't think we would go to 25.
Yeah, there is a number, I want to say it's 20, where we actually get the whole retreat center to ourselves.
Yes, so we might go for that if we have that opportunity. Yeah,
and at the same time last year we had just a little bit under that, and so there were a couple guests here and there, and it was actually really amazing because you're in the jungle. Like, it's not like you go down the street and you see people. Like,
yeah.
Well, there was actually these French Canadians. I showed up. I was like, hey! And then we actually met this really amazing videographer from National Geographic that was filming whales, and like he made a little presentation for us. So part of me is also like,
yes,
it could be blessings and it wouldn't be like 10 people. It would be a couple people trickling in. So
yeah,
our goal is 15 to 20, but like, feeling into the group and how it's building, so it doesn't feel overwhelming, but also there might be the opportunity to have the place to ourselves also. Well, we don't have it to ourselves with the monkeys and
but probably again that 15 to 20 in like a nice held space, but where not happy.
And they're really good about dietary needs too. If you need different things, it was mostly vegetarian. There'd be options once in a while for a little bit of chicken. I think there was a local farm, and then once in a while, a fisherman shows up with a giant fish, and they come sell it to the retreat center, and then we have ceviche, and they just like make it. It doesn't get any fresher than that. It was that was pretty amazing. It was this thing. It was as tall as me. So it's just, they're really all about like very organic, very fresh, and very much tailored to what people need. So we have the Ocean View cabins are filling up. They're pretty much full. There's some garden cabins that are still available. There's 2 or 3 still available, and then the tiki tents. They have a bunch more of those, so those are still there's still a lot of options there.
Joni, tell me about because that was going to be my next question. It's going to be about accommodation. So tiki tents is just like get a tent to yourself, to your place.
It is
How it works.
glamping. So
Pretty nice.
If you go on their website, you'll see them. They're these little platforms, and that's what we stayed in last year. So they're way off the ground, which help, there's no critters or anything, and they're permanent tents, and they're built with this giant bamboo, and it's like you could stand on the bed, like. But there was plenty of room. I think it was a queen bed. Yeah, there was plenty of room. He wasn't in my way. And then there was plenty of room around the bed, also like put our stuff and all that. I didn't feel like, for me when I go camping, I'm like, this felt like, okay, this is my not so fancy hotel room in the jungle, like in a tent. Like I felt like I was in nature, definitely. And then a lot of them have even their own little shower right next to that. And then it's there's some shared bathroom and option. I mean, everything's open air, like every shower, it's like you don't need, I mean, there's walls so people don't see you, but like you don't actually need much more than that. And even like we were really blown away because there's and the animals are there and they're walking around, but they said as long how when you go camping here they're like no food, like the bears are coming, as long as it was wrapped it was fine, like nothing got into our tent, no bugs, no that. It was actually, I don't know, it's like they've got plenty going on in the woods, they don't even come to bother us or something. That was pretty nice. And the cool. Cabins are more open air, so they have mosquito nets over the bed too, but just in case. We didn't see any mosquitoes.
And comfortable beds. You talked about how the beds were very comfortable.
They really care. They're really good hosts. Yeah, did that answer your question, Jesse?
Yeah, it did. Thank you.
Yeah, and every cabin has its own little bathroom and shower situation. The cabins are kind of like step up. Yeah.
Any other questions about anything that has to do with us, the retreat, what we're offering?
We don't have to bring up yoga mat or any of the other shebang. Okay.
No, what I brought last year was recommended by a friend, was companies like Manduka. Every company now makes a travel mat that's really thin and can just fold. So if you don't want to use a public mat for the whole week, like you could bring that, or like a towel or something, but their mats were great. And what we did is you had one for the week, it's not like we, make it all the time. No, they really had everything right there. As we get closer, we will, make like a packing list for you and help you prepare a little more specifically. But basically, it's the old joke in my family, like, oh, we're going somewhere tropical, which we didn't do much of. It was like, I have my bathing suit and my toothbrush. I'm ready to go. Pretty much all you need.
A sun hat, sunglasses.
Very, very simple.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm just also wondering when you will want the last payment.
Yes.
Because everything was delayed a little bit.
Yes. It has been all delayed a little bit. And what were we thinking, December 15th?
So let's backtrack a little bit. If you could get your deposit to us as soon as possible, ideally by December 1st, that's when we put our
big deposit down. Yeah. Julie, you've already paid your deposit, so you're set. Yeah. It'll be a little bit different just because of the room shift, but not much. Yeah. So.
What do you mean about the room shift?
We're going to shake the ocean. We're going to share the ocean view, right?
Oh, we will? It's okay
yeah.
now?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. You didn't tell me.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I thought if you're still open for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay. So we will. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you haven't paid your deposit yet, 25% of whatever accommodation you're choosing, yes, that would be by December 1st would be ideal. And then the rest of it would be amazing by December 15th, but that might not make sense for you. So we're totally open to doing a couple more payments.
However,
or working with you in the way that that it makes sense, but at least we can get our deposit with
Yeah.
secured space. I mean, it's already secure, but
but to secure it even more. And for those of you in Canada, because I know there's a couple of you from Canada and a couple of people watching from the recording that'll probably come from Canada. The best way is like e-transfer to me. I'll let you know the US dollar amount, and then you e-transfer to me. I'm happy to give you a receipt and to send you a receipt so that you've got that. And then if it's in United States, I can accept United States payments as well as Joni from Venmo, not PayPal, no, Venmo or check is how we prefer for that. So yeah. And we can get receipts. So.
yeah, and same. Just contact me. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's a little easier. We're in the same country.
Yes, it is. Well, the whole Canadian thing is like, it's yeah. But I have a bank account there, so it works. It does actually work pretty well right now. Yeah.
Can you feel the sunshine?
Oh, and hear the ocean and the birds.
Can we just go next week instead?
Oh, and eat the fresh fruit. I can't wait. So
yeah, and it's funny, I was at this event recently and I spoke about the retreat a little bit, I mentioned it, and someone came up to me and they're like, I just went to this retreat, I think it was I forget where. And the person was like, they really marketed it as like a transformational thing and we were gonna go deep, and we really didn't. And I was really disappointed. And I was like, oh, we're gonna.
We're gonna.
In like a sweet way, but I was like, this is not fluff. This is like, we're really authentic. And it doesn't have to be like, we're not gonna unearth all your darkness, but you know what I mean? Like,
but anyone that knows Joni or knows me knows that. Like, like Julie's gone to years of my yoga classes. So it's like, she knows, right? Like, yeah. But in a fun way too. Like there's a held space for whatever comes up, but it's also in a very authentic, fun, and free way to really, be together and to transform and to open the ground. Can't ground, we can't open. So we ground first.
And any other additional questions, anything that's evolving, it's still a few months away, so it'll all come together in this week. And
maybe one more question. I mean, I was investigating vaccination for Costa Rica. Do we need anything special? I mean, some country says
nope,
Hep A, Hep B, but it's not necessary.
Not necessary. And it shouldn't affect things, just come as you are. The one thing we're asking regarding the COVID protocols is that it's really important if you are sick, like if you get sick, don't come, right? Like it does, it doesn't matter if you've had like the 4 boosters or 1 booster or whatever. It's like, just if you're sick, we just want to respect that. But other than that, like it's Costa Rica is fine to travel in. So good question. Yeah.
I was asking because in the Yukon, they recommend that we get the vaccination Hep A, Hep B to go to Costa Rica. So I was curious.
Yeah. Oh, are you talking about Hep A and Hep B?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about COVID stuff. Oh, no. Like, so for like Hep A, that's, I think, a personal choice. I have tried, so I think that's personal choice, Julie. I would think Costa Rica, Joni, I don't know about you, but I think it's pretty modern. It's pretty safe. We're going to be drinking good water, eating good food. So my sense is it's okay. But I think if it's something that you feel like strongly, like you need to get, then you definitely should get it.
Yeah, our official disclaimer is follow the recommended guideline in your own country. Make your own decision.
Well, that's it. Exactly.
We're very used to North American tourism, and in fact the water on the Caribbean side, I've heard, is a lot more challenged. So even not on the lodge, but when we were going to restaurants along the coast on the Pacific side, we were drinking the local water even, and it was totally fun. So in fact, this is actually interesting, I didn't know that they take US cash everywhere. I've never gone in that area of the world before, so you don't need to necessarily bring a lot of the local currency. You can just they just love the US cash.
I bet they do.
But visa is okay as well.
Did you find that it was easy to I usually just bring my Visa card everywhere. Like, does that work? Cool.
Yeah, even the retreat center, you know, if you're adding a massage or whatever, they just have you pay before you leave. They take cards or check or cash. Yeah.
I can't wait. A massage on the deck.
Well, yeah, it
Heaven.
sounds pretty amazing. So thanks for putting this together. So
Are you still at 10%, Jesse?
well, you know, see, the secret is anytime I say yeah, I'm going, usually I don't go. And when I say probably like 10%, that usually means that I'm going.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I am. You know, I'll talk to
Yeah.
my job and see, you know, if I can get time off approved, I'll probably go.
Awesome.
That's what I'm
Give me
thinking.
your boss's number.
Yeah. And
Sure.
feel free, we've got a nice group coming together. So there is already a nice like core group, but feel free to let your friends know about it. There is space if there's like someone you want to travel with or wants to come. And we're happy to take time to talk with anyone about it. And
Well, you know, I was thinking about inviting my daughter.
yeah.
So maybe that would be cool. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, I don't know. She might be over like traveling with her dad, but maybe
How old is she?
She's 23.
Oh, I don't know. A trip to Costa Rica with my dad.
I mean, a trip to Costa Rica she might be like, yeah, let's do this. You know, like I don't know.
Cedar, my stepson, who was 13 at the time, came with us last year, and it was really, really transformational for him. He really loved the whole retreat container, and like he would kind of do his own thing, but like, yeah, it was really cool to have him.
Yeah, awesome.
So far, we don't have any teenagers, but
yeah, not yet. That could change though, right? So, yeah.
So thank you so much for making the time. Hopefully this is helpful. Be in touch if you need anything.
Yeah, Johnny, I'll talk to you offline and just touch base about it sometime this next week or something.
Love it.
And Julie, I'll get in touch with you about the lodging and then the rest of your deposit and all that. And then if you have any questions about the travel that I can help you with, you just let me know too. So
okay, perfect. Thanks.
Perfect. Okay.
Thank you.
Everybody, have a good night.
See you in Costa Rica. So much love. Bye. Joni, do you want to stay on? Bye. Okay.
You can stop the